10 seconds. You're going to do that. You're going to do that. And we're live. Welcome, everyone. Here we are. I'm still setting things
everybody.
up, so there's a couple people in the chat. There's 6 people in the chat right now, so chat away.
Hello,
please.
6 people in the chat. Okay, so we're live with you today. As everybody knows, something big just dropped on the Lord of the Rings on Prime official Twitter handle. We got our first official look at several body parts of our characters that we're gonna be meeting in the upcoming Lord of the Rings: The Rings of Power TV show. So this was quite a surprise. We're not even sure whether the images are still dropping or that's it. But we're gonna take a look at all of them and do a little bit of speculation who they could belong, what we can gather from these lovely, lovely images. So first impressions, people, how do you feel? Are you excited? Do you like what you see? By people, I mean you three in in the chat with me at the moment.
My goodness. So many details to look over. I mean, I'm probably going to spend all day poring over these and the next several days.
Yeah.
Lots
As
of
for me, I absolutely love what I'm seeing. First thing that came to mind was that one of the criticisms for The Wheel of Time was the fact that the costumes and the props and everything seemed clean. I don't think this will be the case here. Everything looks, nicely weathered and used, and I absolutely love the look.
Yeah, I agree. I like the specific touches with the things some of them are holding aside from weapons too, or their hands are dirty, or the gold dust on the hands is a nice touch too. With the I think it's safe to assume those are dwarves.
Yeah, first two, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think so.
Not only are they dwarves, but a couple of them seems to. So this is the first one. Is the first one the dwarf lady?
Kyle?
Sorry, this is the first one in reverse chronological order as they have it posted.
This is the first one. Okay, so this one you can see the edges of a ginger beard. So yes. I definitely think this is, and based on the hands, they're not very elderly hands, so I'm assuming this is the younger Durin, as played by Owain Arthur.
I think so too, especially because we heard that he resembles, his character resembles Tormund Giantsbane. So
yeah, a lot of the dwarves are ginger, yeah.
Sure, but if they particularly, we've only heard about this one being ginger, I don't think it's that far-fetched to assume that the one, the one that's actually on the poster would also be the leading dwarf, and as far as we know, Owain Arthur is playing, the leading dwarven character.
Yes. And he's got a big hammer and good stuff. Good stuff.
Really good stuff.
No.
I like the whole aesthetic of this one actually, with all the orange and everything.
You guys let me know when you want to move on, and I'll just continue doing my thing. And
you have to comment on it first.
I can't.
Give us your opinion.
It looks beautiful. I love the axe. It's great, and the ginger beard. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Of course you would. Okay. Any other impressions, Matt? Perhaps from you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm noticing too the detail of the runes on the hammer there. So I'm not one of the language experts here, but I'm sure we'll have people translating that sooner than later.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
I think so too.
The rings aren't familiar, by the way. I don't think those are like rings of power or anything. They're just decorative.
Is it just me, or does the axe not look particularly intricate? Like, compared to the dwarven weapon that we see in the Third Age? I think this looks a bit more simple.
I wonder if this is like a pickaxe, you know, for exploration rather
Mining
than
and
battle.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Bofors.
Yeah.
Actually, it reminded me more of Dwalin's axe, but yeah, because it has inscription in the same place.
Right.
But yeah, it looks like a dwarven weapon. I don't think it looks terribly lacking as compared to the dwarven weapons I know. Yeah.
Well,
That's cool.
it's dwarven, so all dwarven weapons are lacking as far as I'm concerned.
Good thing Varking's not here.
Where's Varking when you need him to defend the honor of dwarves?
I like dwarves too, mind you, but yeah.
You know.
Yeah, Hen
Okay,
likes dwarves
should we
too.
move to the second one?
Yes,
I
let's
think
do that.
so.
Can we see that?
I think
Okay,
that's
so we
also
have-
a dwarf, yeah.
I think this is safe to say it's a dwarf. Note how I think both of them have a little gold on their fingers as well.
Yeah, gold powder,
Really-
yeah.
A really nice touch. So I think we've heard that Sofia Nonvetti is going to be portraying a dwarven queen, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's pretty safe to say this might be her, because the costume looks very intricate. I think it looks very fitting for a potential dwarven queen.
Yeah.
I'm really
Reminds me
curious.
of
I really
the-
want to see the whole picture. Show me their faces. Come on.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree.
I think we'll get that next.
I agree. We need to see faces. But it does look like Sophia, I think. And it's very intricate, very gold. I like the ornamentation in the beard, like Thror. That's cool.
Someone in the chat just suggested all the shots are focused on hands, so maybe these are the 20 original ring bearers. Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, but there's more of these
The-
people than
yeah.
there are rings, though.
The number doesn't match. And I think there are some characters here that might be safely assumed to be hobbits. And I don't think there were any hobbits among the original ring bearers.
Yes.
But I really like the idea.
Yeah, it's
I
a cool
wonder
idea.
I wonder if all of the actual ring bearers will play a very important role, if all of them will be like leads in this show. Because I don't think they would be. There's just too many of them.
It's a
I
very,
agree.
very interesting idea.
I agree.
At the very least, I think it's a reasonable guess to say that several of these might be ring bearers, if not all.
Yeah, to be one. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay.
Next.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Okay, so for me, I mean all the soft curves and everything. This really reminds me of the Elven aesthetics from the films.
Definitely.
I'm not too sure about the chainmail cuff. That looks a little bit, I don't know, not
Actually-
particularly Elven.
Can we go back to the last one just for
But-
1 second?
Okay.
People are pointing out in the chat
Sure.
this part looking a bit like a beard, perhaps.
It is, isn't it? That's why we're saying it's a
Which part?
dwarf.
This part. But you said Sophia.
Yeah, female dwarves have
Most
beards.
likely.
Yes, but did we
I
not
mean,
hear reports that said
but
otherwise,
I-
or what are we thinking here?
We did, and like, I mean, it's a woman's hand. That's fair to say, isn't it?
I think this is textile. I don't think this is hair. Like
Yeah.
if you mean the whole thing behind her hand. I
Yes.
don't think this is.
I
This
think
is
so
hair.
too. I think
But
it's
it
cool
does give
though.
the impression of
Yes.
it would be super cool.
Yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to go back to that for a sec because they brought up a
No,
very
no,
good
not
point.
really nice catch. Bravo to
You're
the
right.
person in
Looking at
charge.
it at high res, I think it is textile. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it is. I looked at it really zoomed up. It is textile, I think.
So when we first got this picture that we're looking at right now, my first thought was immediately Isildur. I don't know why.
Unless-
I don't know what it was about it that reminded me of him, but giving it some thought, I do think this, like I said, with the soft curves and everything, this brings an elven aesthetic to mind rather than a Gondorian
Yeah.
one.
I think the
in
thing
this
that
case,
makes it
Numenorean.
look elven, partially, there's the curviness of it, and also
Yeah.
it's a sword, obviously, but the lack of a very kind of defined crossguard is something that we associate with elven weapons. Like Elrond's sword doesn't really have like a really big crossguard, and also the hilt of the sword, the edge looks like actually a staff of Thranduil's. It is. I'm saying it's just in the same style.
Yeah, the Disney Geekette in the chat is saying the detail of the two trees at the top of the hilt here, where you can see this half is gold and this half is silver.
Ooh.
Any thoughts there?
So that would probably signify a member of the elven nobility. I mean, who out of the male elven characters that we're expecting to see has in fact seen the two trees?
Would there be a possibility this could be Finrod, or I mean, I don't know if we'll be seeing him enough though. But
I will say that to me at least, the skin looks a little bit dark for a potential brother of Galadriel
That's
to be
true.
portrayed by Morvid Clark.
yeah,
But it could just be the light, so,
that's true.
That might be our best guess for right now. That's interesting.
Yeah. Oh, this might be our Finrod. This is so exciting.
Cool. Next, are we good?
Sure.
Wow.
Okay, so this one, my first thought immediately was Elrond as the future lore master. But giving it a closer look, I don't think the hands are hands of a particular young man, which is who Elrond would be at this point, I think. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought at first. Similar color scheme, sort of, to what he's seen wearing in the Peter Jackson movies. And I mean, yeah, the lore master thing, and I mean, some of that text there on the scroll does appear to be Elvish. Although it's some sort of Elvish, I can't read it. I'm no language pro, although I'm sure people will be on that right away.
Oh, one thing that came to mind. Maybe it's not Elrond, but could it possibly be Gil-galad? Because we've just reported last week that Gil-galad is to be portrayed by Benjamin Walker, who is, I think, about 10 years older than Robert Aramayo. Because these aren't the hands of an old person, but I don't think they look like hands of a 20-something.
Yeah,
I agree.
Kyle McCluskey in the chat is
Gil-galad.
also saying maybe Gil-galad.
Let's say it like this. Like I said, a lot of these guys have weapons in their hands, and Gil-galad's weapon is kind of a very revealing one because it isn't a sword; it's a spear. So if we don't see another elven one, if we see another elven one that is holding a spear, then we found our Gil-galad. If we don't, that's probably it. No?
I just say this is so exciting. We're finally seeing something from this show.
Yeah.
Concrete. As a potential precursor to a potential trailer further down the line sometime soon. So yeah.
Next.
Ready? Okay. This one's an interesting one. Reminds me a little bit of the
So
Green Knight. Green Knight
super
vibe.
cool.
Green Knight vibes
That
on
is
this one.
really interesting.
Ooh.
Yeah, why? Yeah, now that you've said it, I can unsee it, but
Yeah.
yeah. Wooden armor. Very
Yeah.
interesting choice.
Wooden armor? And then the person depicted on the armor has a beard, so it's probably not one of the elves.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't.
Is this one of the Rohirrim potentially.
I think
Okay.
saying it's a Middle Earth native of some kind
A
would be
wood
pretty
elf?
safe.
A wood elf?
Yeah.
A wood elf.
Mm.
I would
don't-
say
yeah.
I mean potentially, but just the fact that the person depicted looks very dwarven, or maybe an old man.
Mm.
I don't think an elf would have that portrayed on
yeah.
on his armor.
That's a good
I
point.
agree, yeah. Not necessarily a dwarf, because I think a lot of people in Middle Earth have beards, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
very
not
rough.
necessarily. Yeah.
What elves?
Yeah, I don't think it's
what
a-
elves
I
do we
don't
know of
think
that
it's a
have
dwarf.
beards?
Oh.
Círdan, but
That would be a little bit, just self-centered to put yourself on your armor.
yes.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
And
But
the
the whole
skin
thing
does
has
The skin does look a little bit darker, and there's one reason why I don't think it's a dwarf, because there seem to be a lot of leaves, and just the whole aesthetic is pretty soft, which doesn't really immediately bring dwarfs to mind. My first thought
Yes.
was actually Tom Bombadil. I don't think
Okay.
it's Tom Bombadil, everybody, but that's the feeling I got from this. Actually, my first association was Dionysus, because the leaves kind of remind me of, I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of
I
looks
see
like
your
that.
point. Yeah, sure. I think it's some kind. It has a kind of rustic feeling to a lot of it.
Yeah.
The hand looks pretty like it's kind of someone's hand. I mean, but it looks kind of like tan a little bit.
Hussein in the chat is
Oh,
suggesting
yeah.
a ranger, maybe, and Kyle McCluskey
Yeah,
in
it's-
the chat is
It's
saying
someone who lives in the outdoors.
yeah, or
That
wild
was
men
the
or
impression
hillmen.
I got at first.
Harad maybe is another suggestion in the chat.
Could be.
Horror, potentially. Could it maybe be Hadrith? Arik, the
Sure.
person who travels to Numenor with Galadriel. We kind of assume that he's gonna be a Middle Earth native. So
Yeah, I think so. Could be. I'm assuming we'll have a couple of these, and there are a couple of people on this that definitely look like Middle Earth natives. So we'll find a couple more of them
yes.
higher up.
Yeah, I think
So
that
as far as I'm concerned, this is one of the coolest ones.
Yeah,
This,
this is-
one is.
a little bit ambiguous, but
It's
I
very
think
unusual. Certainly, I've never seen armor like that.
I think the
It
chat
does
most-
bring to mind the wooden relief that we've seen before.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, very
That
definitely.
very
kind of
true.
artwork
Yeah.
on wood.
Yep.
Very true.
I think the chat is pretty much
Okay.
set on Dunlendings or middlemen or hillmen or something along those lines.
Kyle, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Now I can.
Okay. Well, I
Yeah,
wasn't
me
saying
too.
anything important anyway, so it's fine.
Okay.
Then there's this. This one is very interesting.
My first thought here was Ar-Pharazôn.
Okay.
It's golden. It's opulent. It looks very fitting for somebody who would have that degree of self-importance.
But do you think
Yeah,
that
the one thing I would say to that is that it's kind of. I imagine he'd become more fancy after he's coronated rather
Yeah.
than before, but okay. Otherwise, I agree, yeah.
unless we're
I
seeing
think he
that
would
in the first
become-
season, who knows?
Perhaps.
Yeah.
We don't know that.
We don't
yeah.
know. We don't know.
But I think he would be. Yeah, you're right. He would be more, more fancy after the coronation. But I don't think he'd be particularly humble beforehand. So
Sure.
Yeah.
He's still like first cousin to the queen, so yeah, it makes sense.
Snow leopard in the
Definitely,
chat
I
says
buy
elf.
those as Tristan's hands.
Snow leopard in the chat says elf, and I mean to me this looks elven. To me,
can you maybe repeat that?
someone in the chat says elf,
Yeah.
and to me this looks elven.
I heard Elven.
Elven. Yeah, I heard Elven. Nothing
Yeah,
else.
someone in the chat
Yeah,
is saying
something-
elven.
Could be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Elven.
Yes.
Potentially. Yeah, I could see them going with the golden color scheme for the elves. Yeah.
The one thing, it's a bit fancy for an elf,
Yeah, so many
Other than
rings.
it
It
being
just
gold.
looks.
Yeah.
The rings and also this kind of like this star-shaped on his. Actually, Numenor is the Star Island, so maybe.
Is it a Feanorian star?
Oh, not bad. That's not a bad catch. Wait a minute. If there's an elf that would be extravagant, Again, you'd think Celebrimbor would be it, so...
But you know, it's not. Yeah, but it's not very handy for Celebrimbor to have that many rings. He would just have
True.
to, put them
And
on
also-
and off every time.
Would he have more of a silver kind of look to him?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Fair point.
But it does look like a Fëanorian star. Very much.
Yeah, it
In
does.
fact, suspiciously so.
Yeah, that was well pointed
So,
out.
I don't know.
Okay. Okay, let's move on. We'll leave this one.
Okay.
unresolved.
Laketia has some
This
things to
is
say
one
about
of
this
the-
one. Yeah.
This one looks super excited. I love the color of the fabric, like the dress or whatever it is. I think this looks like a female hand. So I can't particularly see any elven warriors carrying a scythe. So my first thought was maybe this is Nazanin Boniari's character, Kari. This is the code name, of course. Although the color scheme itself, blue and golden, I think we're kind of suspecting that might be the Numenorean color scheme. But still,
Yeah.
I don't think if this is a Numenorean, then it's probably not a member of the royalty. But my
Yeah, it's
my first thought was this is Nazanin Boniadi.
Yeah, I get your point. It's weird because you're right. The fabrics and the gold on the belt suggest a fairly established, wealthy society, and yet the scythe is, so it's kind of like, I'm not sure what that is.
And the hand is really dirty and everything. So
Yeah, it's weathered. Yeah, it's very kind of somebody off the ground.
And who thought to combine the deep blue with the olive green? I mean, people, come on.
These Dunlendings have no sense of fashion. That's all I'll say.
Neither do I, but oh well. Okay, anybody has any other comments? Matt, what do you think?
I'm trying to make out the details on each of those panels on the belt. If there are any clues that those designs might give us.
They look like flowers to me.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there's some flowers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
1 second here.
Oh, and you can.
Yeah, I
wow.
mean, to me, overall, though, it does look very much like a... It seems like a commoner, but not too lower class or anything.
Yeah.
I
But
don't know.
if you look at the seams on the green or olive green coat, the seams are, they're not very precise. So yeah, that makes me think it's a commoner or something. But then the dress seems pretty fancy. I mean, the color is very, very rich, and the golden belt and everything. Although the texture itself of the coat is pretty rough. So
I could buy it as a commoner,
yeah. So
Voice,
I think-
Voice of Geekdom's in the chat. Say hi to Voice of Geekdom, everyone.
Hi, Voice of Geekdom.
Okay. Also, I know we haven't addressed this yet, but our friend Matt is here joining us today for the first time on stream. You might recognize his voice as the narrator of our videos of late. Welcome, Matt. Great to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad I could jump on. Reacting because I'm thrilled with this, I'm sure we are.
Great to have
At
you.
least see something tangible.
And great job, by the way, on all videos. We love what you do, so keep on coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, everything sounds fantastic. Okay, I think we're moving on here. 1 sec. Yep. What do we think of this?
Definitely one of the more stylized ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the biggest enigma, is that a beard? No, that's not a beard, I'm sorry.
This one
I
is
zoomed
throwing me
too much.
off. This one is throwing me off. There's things I want to say. There's things I want to say about it, but I don't want to go too far. So maybe it's best I keep my mouth shut.
My thought when seeing this was actually Dol Guldur. That's the aesthetic that came to my mind.
Oh!
Fellowship is
Yeah,
just joined
Spike.
us.
Oh, hi,
I
Fellowship.
didn't think of that.
He's
Where's
just
it?
here to
Oh,
spy on
boss.
You see, the thing is, I haven't seen any of these posters right now. I haven't seen one.
Oh,
So I have no clue what Amazon have just dropped because. Oh wait, this is live, right? Okay, I'm
We're
forgetting
live,
that.
yeah.
Okay, so I can't see the live chat anyways. Hello everyone. So all I saw was a Sauron-looking one, a lot like the one from the
Chris,
Peter Jackson.
Chris, we'll get to it.
A
We're
really
not there
Peter
yet.
Jack. Sorry, I'm sorry for interrupting. Continue. I'll be right back in a second.
Cool. So yeah, my first thought here was actually, I mean, the dress looks a bit, it looks mannish, but then the weapon itself looks orc-made to me.
It's a bit fancy for an orc-made one, the hilt
Okay.
of it.
Okay.
But
yeah,
otherwise,
got it.
yeah, I see your point though. It's kind of spiky and stuff, and rusty looking, and kind of very evil looking weapon.
You know
And
that
it's
there's the
broken.
symbol. It looks like a symbol on top of the blade, just
Mm-hmm.
below where it's broken, and that looks like, I don't know, some sort of
Next
orc.
page.
Let me zoom
Creature
into
to
that
me,
real
yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
This doesn't look just random to me. It looks like, it's
I
been
know, I
put there.
agree. Yeah. And the blade is a deep, deep black. It looks like, like meteorite.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't gonna go there. But yeah, I agree. It's like a black blade. It's it's very. This is what I would think of when I think of Anglikel.
Anglical, but it's broken, so it's
Yeah.
Anglical post Turin, using it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the interesting details here with that that caged look on the hilt, it does kind of remind me, as Lakitia said about kind of Dol Guldur, sort of covered with brambles and branches and things. It sort of seems to suggest that, and almost that kind of wooden look on the cross guard there. Or is that like a horn of some creature even?
It does look a bit wooden. The thing that comes in is the woodland realm, but I don't think that's what it is. Again, because the costume is decidedly unelvish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very, like I said, definitely the more stylized ones. So it's very difficult to tell what that is. The very bottom of the hilt, which is only barely visible against the black, also has a spiky thing going on. It's very like bad guy kind of weapon.
Yeah. Jaden in the chat is suggesting maybe this is related to the asteroid crash site that we're looking at, maybe.
Is there a post of an asteroid?
No.
Okay.
No,
okay.
but like I said, the material from which the blade is made looks meteorite-like.
Yeah.
Have
Yeah, I
you-
was noticing when you zoomed in on the highest details on the left side of the blade, it looks like there's some banding, sort of like a banded pattern in the metal,
Okay.
a little bit. So
It's
See if I can
very
go back to that very quickly.
extremely stylized.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying on the edge here. Right around here. Both sides, actually.
yeah,
There's some kind of pattern in there.
It's very intricate. There's a lot
It
of
is,
detail
yeah.
on that. Very intricate.
Okay. Shall we proceed?
I think so.
Kyle, do we need to hurry a little bit?
No, we're okay. We've got an hour or so.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
We'll stick with that. How about this one?
Wow. This
Wow.
one is one of the most exciting ones,
Wow.
hands down. This looks like a city to me.
Oh, the one with the
yeah.
city on the hilt.
Yeah. But the what does the dressage remind everyone of?
It looks almost like a cloak, sort of cloak draped there, and I can't quite tell what to make of the inner layer.
I'd say that looks elven.
That looks elven for sure to me.
My thoughts when I saw the city on this would be
Yeah.
Numenorean.
Really?
My first thought was Gondolin. I was like, wow, the towers and everything. But then do we think this might be like Haradrim or something with the golden aesthetic?
Maybe.
Nothing
You
like
know, I
anything
didn't
else?
think of that until you just said it, because not so much the gold, but the kind of the kind of horns that the crest of the staff sprouts.
Mm-hmm.
Know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Right, like flanking this city. That looks a little bit reminds me of the aesthetic of the Haradrim armor.
I'll just say that
the spikes and stuff.
the cloak or the robe reminds me so much of Gandalf the White.
Which
Yeah.
is Elven.
Oh,
bit,
Gandalf the White's costume is Elven. So
yeah,
I
exactly.
think this could be an elf, and it doesn't. It's not explicit, but the ring that he wears reminds me tremendously of the ring of Elrond's, which is obviously the ring of Gil-galad's previously.
is this the scepter?
Oh, okay.
Could
yeah.
this be the scepter of
Of
Numenor?
Numenor?
Yeah.
It does look like a scepter. Yeah.
That's definitely.
Like I said, I my original thought was yes.
Because my first thought just now was the hands look female to me. Could this be Miriel?
Does that look like Cynthia though?
I'm not particularly familiar with her hands, I must confess.
Or someone else.
Or someone else?
Yeah, could be a number of
Yeah, I don't know.
people
I'm not
playing
sure.
playing
Not sure.
Muriel.
Yeah,
Oh,
it could
yeah,
be
very
someone
true.
else.
I think too obsessed with our own theories about that.
I think so too.
Yeah. I just mean, it could be the scepter.
Yeah, I think that's well pointed
Very
out.
intricate, though,
That's
very
yeah,
pretty.
that's not a weapon, right? That's certainly like a
No,
yeah.
no. Quite a few of them aren't weapons, really.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, could this be the scepter of Numenor? This is so exciting.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, it
so.
could be.
Although I have to say that the just the whole dress, the costume seems a little too plain for for a Numenorean queen or king or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Could be one of those. It could be one of those situations where it is the queen and the king who are dressed rather plainly.
And
You know,
just
like
holding
a
a
Roman.
scepter randomly.
Yeah. If it is the king, though, you'd expect this to be Tar Palantir, and I think those are
Maybe.
much too youthful-looking hands.
Mm.
So I don't know.
I think they're very young. Yeah.
Okay.
Could be. I still think it could be an elf. Again, the ring reminds me of Elrond's ring, or Vilya. Although you don't see the gem, so it's kind of hard to tell, but the shape of it kind of reminds me of it.
It's such a weird placement of the ring too. It's
No
like,
gem.
you
There's
know,
no
on-
gem.
No gem.
No
It's
gem.
I think it's a plain looking ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these people have rings. It's important not to get too caught up in their rings because a lot of them are obviously just decorative. Like the one with the gold had like 5.
Yeah, and we could be getting new designs for rings, you know.
We could be, but also like people, even in the movies, people have rings that are rings of power. Like
That's right.
Thorin has like, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, moving
Oh,
on.
penguin!
Oh, there's Penguin.
Hello.
Penguin's here.
A certain happy feet appeared. Hi.
Yeah, I'm actually, for once, living up to my name. Dealing with snow and sleet in my local area. You know, the normal
Oh, say this is
one time
snow.
per. It is, and the children are terribly disappointed. It's all sleet, so they can't build a snowman.
Oh no.
Oh, it's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
All right.
Should we move on to the next
Let's
one?
move on to the next and let's get. Can you see the screen here, Penguin?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so let's get your opinion on this next one first.
And FYI, I have done little more than glance at all of these. So
Oh,
I
no worries.
haven't-
This one will be.
Yeah.
This one will
Yeah,
be quite
we're all in
revealing.
the
I
same
think
boat.
No, probably even haven't seen all of them.
there's a lot.
Okay.
Oh, there it is.
This one is unexpected
Fruity
for
enough.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
This one really is, yeah. It's one of the more, you know, like we can tell what this is.
Yeah.
This is a proto-Rohirrim, a Northman of some kind. Which we didn't really... I think we heard a little bit about these being in the show, but just the tiniest bit at most. And it's very weird. Because what in the world would they... what story material would they have?
They are a very recognizable element from the films, and it might have just been a situation of chuck them in.
Could be.
It's kind of, yeah, it's a little bit, I don't want to say pandering, but it's kind of like you need Rohirrim in this, but it does look very cool, and everybody loves the Rohirrim anyway, so
it just it looks like they're kind of doing what I've said all along. What you basically let's just do what movies did, and in a slightly different way. Well, it's Middle Earth. You've got to have hobbits in here, so let's toss hobbits in here. Call them Harfoot, so we can say that we're paying attention to the lore. There's nothing really going on. We don't know much about middlemen in this period, other than that they're apparently trapped between the rock and the hard place of Sauron and the Numenorean. So here, let's just throw these guys in here. I'm kind of curious, what are they going to do next? So it just kind of looks safe, and it doesn't look like they're doing too much. I mean, it looks pretty enough, but just reading between the lines here.
Well, we do have.
As you can see, we called Penguin for a little positivity and optimism.
I mean, I'm just saying, if you're spending $1 billion, you're going to go with the safer choices because you want that return. If this was a $5 million, if they had a much smaller budget, I'd be actually all the more intrigued, because you're more likely to think, okay, well, we're spending a little, we can be a little bit more risky. When you spend $1 billion, I mean, how many guys play in the stock market? I'm sure, you're not going to blow all your fortune on a penny stock. Nope. When you put big money in, you're going to be a little bit more conservative with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't disagree with that. I think it's the safe, smart way to go. This is meant to be a global show. This is the most expensive TV production of all time, and I will just say though that we do have the Aorlings in the appendices, and so certainly they could be incorporated.
Yeah, their ancestors are definitely there. I'm just intrigued what they'll do with them. It looks very Rohan.
It does.
Not just the horse, but also the scale shape on the armor. The Rohirrim had that. Looks very Rohan.
Yeah, I agree.
The blade itself, by the way, not the hilt. The blade looks amazing.
The blade itself. That's the title of a book by Joe Abercrombie.
The blade
Sorry,
itself.
Carry on.
All right.
The blade itself.
Are we moving on?
Blade looks really amazing.
It does.
Oh, wow. I'm just hopping onto it now, and I'm seeing I guess there's a lot of posters.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's like 23 of them, I think.
Oh, wow. I had only just glanced at a couple of them. And wow. Okay.
Is this a good choice to make those kind of proto-Rohirrim have such a seemingly lavish culture? Because this is gilded, and there's like a lot of red here, and it's very... I mean, I'm assuming it's a king of some kind, but still.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm looking at this. I'm trying to look for orcish representation, and I'm just not seeing any. It's very disappointing, Amazon.
We would recognize an orc, wouldn't we?
Unless they're doing something dramatically different than what we've seen before.
Now, what could this be? I wonder.
I don't know why I'm so excited, because I'm not excited about the presence of hobbits in this show, but seeing this, I don't know, it just makes me happy.
It's the one with the acorns.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seems to allude to like Bilbo's keeping of the acorn in The Hobbit, but also the relative size of them compared to the hands holding them might suggest this is a smaller person.
Yes,
I love the attention to detail. This is awesome.
Yeah, if you want to talk about ones, the costumes that look more weathered, this is definitely very, very weathered. There are
It's
holes
full of
in this.
holes. Yeah.
Mm.
The material is very rough and everything.
Yeah, there's the suggestion of roughness, yeah, or coarseness in the material. It's very ramshackled, yeah.
The Harfoots have been described as travelers or pilgrims, right?
Yeah, pilgrims, yeah, travelers, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking at that mashup on Reddit of all of them, and I'm guessing you can see Lenny. I'm guessing that's Lenny Henry holding some squirrel. I'm guessing the people holding fruit, holding what appears to be oversized fruits and nuts, are hobbits. It looks very different than that Shire vibe. So hopefully they're not. So I'm guessing they're not going with that Shire vibe of hobbits that we've seen before, which we've discussed to death.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, but even this, like doing hobbits as kind of the poor things, they're like living off the land in the wild. I'm not sure how much of a bigger fan of that I am either. You know.
Yeah, that's true, but I think at the same time they would have had to have migrated from somewhere. So I don't have a huge issue
Yeah,
with
sure. It makes sense within the context of everything. Sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Still, I don't know. We'll see.
We will see.
Looks cool.
I do appreciate that they added these objects to show the size of the subject, which is a cool little
they're pretty
cool little way to do it.
This is really, really cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Have you looked at the guy holding the arrow?
Yes.
We had.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you guys discussed how it looks? That almost looks like he's wearing some kind of wooden armor.
Yeah.
Yes.
We talked about Green Knight vibes, kind of.
If you have any speculations about what character that might be.
I mean, not really. Wonder if, with the darker hand, that's Ismail Cordoba.
I think he's an elf, though, and that didn't look very elvish to me.
We've seen, so far, a lot of this stuff looks pretty unique, unlike anything we've seen before. Quite distinct from the movies, whether that's separate continuity or just a couple millennia before it. But, I wonder if this could be just a different take on Sylvan elves or Cinderan elves.
It could be
Okay, but still, wood. I mean, the woodland realm ones were wood too, but.
Well, that's
a
good
pointed
point
out.
too.
Beards, yeah.
Yeah, the person seems to have a beard, like the person portrayed on the armor looks like it's bearded, and I don't think any Sylvan elf would have anyone bearded on their armor.
Yeah, that's really the clincher, I think.
I guess I haven't seen the big image, so it could be a beard, or it could just be a repeating of the wooden pattern on that wood, on the leaf pattern on that wooden appearing armor.
Morgan in the chat is suggesting maybe Orifer.
Yeah.
I think that's a good.
I mean, yeah, sure. I don't know.
Or Tom Bombadil.
Yeah,
we're back to that.
Yeah, but where's the yellow boots and the blue shirt?
Yeah.
We'll get that one.
I mean, not that we see the boots. But
a grim dark Tom Bombadil.
When we get the full picture, we'll see the yellow boots.
Of course.
Good.
Yes.
Okay.
So what's next?
This one is next.
Oh yeah.
I love this color, by the way. I love this kind of.
The tones are quite
orange,
quite beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, I love this. Really cool.
My first thought here was Numenorean royalty.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, could be.
With the blue fabric and then the golden belt.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that pattern though the same star? There is on this towards the top of the image, pattern again of the Fëanorian star.
Lakitia, you said blue fabric?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not seeing blue at all in that picture. Is this a repeat of the dress is blue, no, the dress is gold?
No, it's probably something more grayish or gray-greenish. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. But you do see that star though.
Yes, I do see it. Yeah.
The pattern of the cloak. And I also think the it's kind of a funny detail to focus on, but the belt buckle to me looks kind of elven. It could also be like the weird thing is that the Numenorean culture is supposed to be very elf influenced, you know, whether they'll or not. So so that always makes it kind of difficult to distinguish.
Yeah, I agree.
Should. So yeah, I don't know, but it's cool. I love this.
No weapons or rings in this one.
Yeah, very plain.
Yeah.
In a good way. In a very good way.
Mm-hmm.
Simple and very kind of pretty. I love the orange.
Okay, good.
Moving on.
Again,
well, this looks very intricate.
Yeah.
First of all,
I get Green Knight vibes from this one as well.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I get it. But
Yeah, I think that repeating sun motif on the sword and on the armor, both on the blade and the pommel, by the look of it. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what to make of that.
The sun.
I'm going to go on a limb. I'm going to go on a limb and say this is our golden boy, Arpharazon.
That was the thought I just had as well.
Or Mr.
not a bad idea.
Or misdirection. This is a bit of a Anatar, you know, all pretty and golden and so forth.
Sure.
Suggestion of the sun in it is okay. Yeah. The hilt of this, the pommel sword seemed to be hollow, which is a motif that we associate with Andoril.
It's not a hole though. It's not a hole, right? Is this a hole?
Oh, it is.
Okay, yeah.
It is, and we see through it to the armor behind it.
Sure, yeah. Yeah.
So it could be. It's not.
I don't think so. I don't think so, because if you look at the lines on the armor behind it, they're much more, the contrast and the sharpness is much bigger than what's in the middle of the sword, I think.
Yeah.
And can I just say that I think, can you scroll down to the sleeves, please? I think this looks like a fish scale motif.
Yeah.
You know, with the green-blue color,
Yep.
which Penguin is gonna oppose me on again and tell me I'm colorblind, which I accept. But it really looks to me as fish scale.
Yeah, I think so too.
Which would be something that I would expect perhaps in Numenor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure.
Can we make out what kind of inscription is happening on this ring here? Looks like there's a little bit of an accent over this letter, maybe.
It looks like Arabic, but sure.
I was just kind of jumping back to that image on Reddit of all of those and just trying to see who all had rings and who all didn't. And it's really hard to attach any sort of significance to that, just because you've got some people with one ring on, many with none, and then there's several people that have multiple rings.
Yeah.
I'm going to share that in the chat just so everyone can see.
Cool.
But I think this looks like one of the most sophisticated ones, one of the most intricate ones, and the person actually looks clean.
Yeah. Yeah, I get Pharazon vibes from this personally.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah.
Is he much of a fighter in this take on the material? From memory, he's the one that no, let's stay and don't go fight for the elves and stuff. So I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll just have to wait and see.
All right, we've got some fruit.
Ooh,
yummy.
If you take a bite of that, all your dreams will come true. Wait. Well, I'm thinking I must be getting confused.
No.
Is that a beard? Can you do a close up?
It's the edges of it.
There is a beard. Yep, there is a beard.
Okay.
It's kind of wizard looking, but I don't want to admit to that. Said for gritted teeth. I'd buy that. Yeah.
The person is very dirty, though. I mean, all the dirt behind the fingernails, which leads me to believe that's not a coincidence.
I'd buy those as Lenny Henry's hands, except that, the apple is a bit small in his hands.
Okay.
Oh, hi, voice of Gatham.
Here we
Hello,
are.
guys.
Whoa.
Let's get you set up here.
I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a couple of pictures.
I did see. There's a couple. There's 12. There's 12 pictures, I think.
I think there's more than
Twice
that.
much.
Yeah.
Double that, I would say.
What was it on our last count? 23 or something?
23. Yeah.
I think there's
Blimey.
So Dan, what are your guesses about what this picture is depicting?
I can't see the picture. Where am I looking?
Oh,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never done this on Discord before, so yeah, I see. They go with the apple.
we're gonna be gentle with you.
Yes.
Don't worry.
Yeah. Well, somebody older, somebody who has come out of a rural setting, somebody human. Yeah, I can't tell too much. It looks like somebody who's come from poverty, not somebody who's a noble or somebody of kind of a kingly heritage or anything like that. The apple and the grubby hands make me think of Denethor eating a tomato. That's
Poor apple. Poor apple.
yeah.
Hey,
This
trigger warning, please. Okay, there might be young children watching.
Oh, the
I apologise. Yeah, I mean it's an interesting image that doesn't give too much away. Basically, I can't tell you who that character is.
I think this is one of the most mysterious ones. Like,
I was thinking wizard, but I really hope it's not. Because it reminds me of Radagast, just the derpiness of it. And,
Yeah. I get wizard vibes from this as well.
yeah,
Kind of
if I
that
had to
black
speculate,
wool.
I will say, if it is a wizard, that's a pretty short beard for a wizard because it's barely in frame.
Yeah.
I
Well,
would say this might
Book
be.
Radagast was said to have had quite a short beard, actually. Shorter than we think of for the wizards.
And
obviously-
the hippie outfit would fit Radagast.
Where is that? Yeah, Dan, where is that?
Where is that mentioned?
Yes.
It's actually in the Nature of Middle Earth book, I think.
Okay. I have not picked that one up yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did read that. That anecdote out of it.
Yeah, so it may be a wizard. Yeah, it could be. Doesn't really scream wizard to me, because there's no staff, and I don't know.
It's the outline of a beard. You can see it in the edge of frame, but like I said, if it is a wizard, that's a pretty short beard.
There's another image which does look like a wizard to me, which I tweeted about, and it's a very bizarre looking staff, but you would expect a different sort of staff design than the others that we've seen before in the Peter Jackson movies, I think.
For sure.
And they're wearing blue. So I think that's a wizard.
Oh, okay. We haven't got to that one yet, I think.
No.
I'll wager a guess. I think this is a member of the community which Kari is also a part of, the code name for the character that we've known about for a while. So I think this is a member of the Rohirrim. That would be my best guess.
Yeah. Middle Earth native, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely
so-
not like it's kind of easy because it's definitely not a Numenorean, definitely not an elf.
Yeah.
So that really
Yeah.
kind of
Okay,
leaves
we've got a big one here. We've got a big one for this next one.
I think this is Galadriel.
Yes.
Clearly.
Exactly. Our main
Oh, yeah, sure.
our main gal.
Yeah,
Our gal pal.
This must be her
full of
angsty.
feminine
This must be her goth phase that she goes through
That's
for a little
right.
bit in the second age.
That's right.
I would pay to see that actually. So I think this. I mean, the most obvious choice, of course, is certain Lord Sauron. But I think this could also be his right-hand man. We've learned about Adar. I think this looks appropriately gothic.
I think this is the. Torn has reported that Sauron doesn't appear in the first season, or at least we don't know that it is Sauron.
Not revealed.
So I wonder
yet.
if this is the red herring. And Ken might remember this way back when this was first announced, and we were all discussing. And I said, one of the things that Anatar could do to weasel his way in is present some sort of as he's trying to get in with the elves, he could say, "Hey, you guys need help because there's this other big threat out there that you guys need to rally against." And whether Amazon does something like that or not, it gives you a sort of phantom menace for everyone to be looking towards while Sauron can be doing his thing.
Sure. I'll just also say welcome Strider to the stream. He's just joined us.
Oh,
Hi. Oh, this is getting light.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Nice rider.
We've got a good party
Hello,
going on
nice
here
to meet
now.
you.
Good to have you.
Glad to be here. So
And on a personal note, it's now snow. The sleet has finally stopped and it's snowing, so that's exciting.
Time to go out and build that snowman.
Got to wait a little bit on that. Even someone who has as little experience with snow as me knows that.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
No, of course not.
No.
No.
No, of course. Yeah, you live in the Sahara.
That's right.
I think one thing we can say from this image and from the rest of the images as well, I think, in my opinion, this looks like very, in tune with the aesthetic from the films. To me, I mean, this image just screams Sauron or his lieutenant's aesthetic or something.
Yeah, spiky.
Very spiky, the black color and everything. It maybe it looks a little bit more gothic than I would expect Sauron to look, but yeah, to me this is just another point into the theory that they're going along with the film's aesthetic.
The gauntlet seems similar to the gauntlets that the Nazgul wear in the films, but just more elaborate and more ornate.
Could
Yeah, that's one of the options as well. Is this a Nazgul we're seeing, perhaps?
Are those spikes on over the knuckles?
They are.
Yes.
Respect. Take off his sword. He'll still beat you to death.
Oh yeah. Yeah. This is pretty dark stuff.
The sword itself is extremely fantastical looking.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of them
style.
have been very fantastical.
Yeah.
The bad guy stuff lends itself to being more heightened than the good guys.
Listen, Meg.
Laughs in Lord of the Rings elvish designs.
Yeah.
But okay.
But the sword is very. I was thinking of a sword that Weta had designed for Sauron, which he didn't use, but which we did saw. This isn't it. It's a new sword. It's extremely fantastical looking. Very, very. I don't know.
well, if I may jump in, I would say that to me this could look like, because obviously it does have some visual resemblance with the Nazgul, but this could be perhaps Sauron's armor before and his overall look before what happens in Numenor. So this could
I think so. Yeah.
be like
Yeah.
the first phase of the wars.
Sure.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's
just
the
the more
best guess.
stripped down version. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing I would say against this being a ring wraith is it'll probably start with the ring wraiths as people.
True.
So we probably
True.
wouldn't be getting a ring wraith.
Now this is a little off focus in the background, but I'm wondering, is that cloth under those gauntlets, and what are those vimbraces?
Little bit of cloth, but mostly I see a lot of chainmail.
Yeah. Chain.
Okay. I'm watching this on my phone, so it's a much
would say-
smaller.
Pretty high res pics.
Okay, yeah, that's chainmail.
Yeah.
Alright. Thanks for zooming.
Those specular highlights
mail.
to me would indicate that that's like a metal of some sort.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else?
No.
No, that's it. Okay. Okay. Here's a cool one.
Oh yeah.
This is the one I think is a wizard,
Okay.
possibly.
Interesting.
Where's it?
I do notice there's some
this
kind of
Is it?
some kind of talon or something in this.
Yeah, it's not a staff per se.
Yeah.
A walking
It does
stick.
say in the descriptive text down below that it's some sort of farm implement, or it does.
Oh.
Yeah, it looks
Okay.
like a scimitar.
I do
It
like that
looks
there's
like a
some.
scimitar,
There's
not
definitely
like a
some.
staff.
There's definitely some
Yeah,
blue going
okay.
on here, though. I think that's well pointed out.
That looks blue even to my eyes. So
Yeah.
I think
It
we're
looks
all in
green to
agreement.
me.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like
you
blue
would.
green. It's like blue
It
green.
looks slightly green. It looks
Yeah.
greenish to me too.
Yeah, it's blue green.
Can we get
It's
a
there.
can we get a tiebreaker in here regarding the color?
I
mean,
mean,
it's
and,
not
then,
even
and then you
long,
look at the
it's-
cloak. The cloak is very clearly green, brown, grayish.
I
Absolutely
wouldn't.
not
I wouldn't
blue
say
there.
clearly, but yeah, I see what you mean. It's almost mossy,
Scimitar.
mossy
It's not
looking.
stuff.
Yeah.
I think this is Tom Bombadil.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think so too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we don't see if the boots are yellow, but you know, if you guys say that the jacket is blue,
Doesn't he have a bright beard too?
Yeah, I don't
Well,
see a beard.
well,
I
yeah,
do see
because
something that looks like a neckerchief.
Okay.
No?
Maybe.
But it definitely. I initially did think of a staff, but it isn't a staff because it's actually quite short. You can see the edge of it. It's just a scimitar based on a piece of horn.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually pretty cool.
Very cool.
this one is really, really cool.
Yeah. Okay.
It looks
anything
like
else?
there's some sort of claw there as well, like at the
Mhm.
top of the where the pointed part starts.
Like a talon of some
Yeah.
sort. Yeah.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
small one.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Intriguing.
Yeah.
One
Yeah,
thing
kind
that
of
came
strapped
to
on.
yeah, no, carry on. I'm good.
It's interesting. This guy also has some pretty dirty hands, so that makes me
Yeah.
think this is someone who's either poor, well traveled, or both.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It-
definitely one of the more weathered ones.
Mm-hmm.
Can we zoom in on this? I'm not sure what it is, but to the root of the talon below this red rope.
We're looking right here.
Yeah. Is it like just a bone of sorts? Like that little thing?
It does look like a
Yes.
Or
bone.
what
Yeah.
could it be?
It's all bone.
It does look like a bone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think so.
It's all bone.
Okay. Moving on.
Yeah.
Got some more.
Aw,
Some more.
I love this
Giant
one. Can I
fruits.
just say that the whole color scheme of this one is just gorgeous.
Mm, yeah.
Can you zoom up, please? Zoom in.
That looks like a. That looks like a child's hands, or at
Mhm.
least a
A hobbit.
immature person. Yeah,
I think
hobbit
it's a
and
hobbit.
child.
We
Don't be-
pointed out earlier in the stream that we really like the attention to detail, given the fact that, you know, the berries look giant in this person's hands, which they would be if this were a hobbit indeed, or a child, like you say. But I think the fingernails and everything make me think it's
Even the pattern on the cloth is very. It's meant to make visible. You know. And they've got
The description also says childlike hands.
oh, okay.
Close up, small child hands.
But it doesn't say, you know, a child's hands, but childlike hands.
Mm.
Yeah, childlike.
Could be a hobbit.
So yeah, definitely could be hobbits. Absolutely.
There are a couple of kids in the cast. Do we think it's one of them?
Could be. Yeah.
I mean,
Because-
it could be also one of the older actors, just done on the scale of a hobbit version. But
Yeah,
also
the-
could be, of course,
the
one of
skin
the
is
younger
very
actors.
smooth.
So I think it's one of the older actors because the hair on the braid doesn't exactly tell young kid to me. We have a braid, but the braid looks pretty coarse.
Is this a braid? Like,
I think it is. I also think the description says it's a braid. It's the strap of a burlap sack,
No.
sorry.
Strap of a burlap bag, yeah.
I was wrong.
My guess is this is a hobbit.
I think so too.
That's my best
Probably.
bet.
Although, you know why I say it could possibly be a kid? Because Kari has a kid.
Well, maybe it's
Yeah,
a kid
boy.
hobbit.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I think the berries aren't a coincidence. I think, they placed them intentionally to show them that this is a small person. I don't think with a child they would particularly point that out.
Sure.
I
That's
could be
true.
wrong, though.
On the other hand, the one that's holding the sack, that doesn't look like a kid to me.
No.
Yeah, okay, I agree. Probably a
But,
hobbit.
so it's either a hobbit or it's a child labourer working on a farm.
Or just somebody taking a stroll through the woods and just picking some berries.
Minding their business.
Yes.
But I agree though. I think it's a hobbit, and I think the raspberries are there for scale of reference.
Yeah. Yeah,
As the kid
definitely.
just said.
Did I-
Next one.
One sec here. There we go. Okay. Lots of texture in this one.
This one is holding, the description also denotes this, collapsed over their stomach. This to me really sells pregnant woman.
Yeah, I had that same thought. Having seen my wife strike that pose countless times when she was pregnant, and other friends besides. Yeah.
So do we think this is a hobbit or a member
Is
of...
would it be a hobbit? I don't know.
I mean,
Could be.
apparently hobbits do get pregnant, so...
Yeah, sure.
I thought they sprung out of holes from the ground.
No.
Oh, what? Oh, man.
Those are the ones that have beards and angular stuff. This isn't very angular, penguin.
Come on, just play along, okay? Be cool.
Okay.
Is this Kari? Or am I just... Wait, who is
Should Kari
Kari
be
again?
pregnant? Because
Who's
she's
Kari
busy.
again?
Nazanin.
Kari is Nazanin Bonyadi, which is okay, but Kari is busy getting on with a Numenorean, I
One
think,
of
so
the-
this would
in the
be
audition
post getting it
scripts-
on.
In the audition scripts, one of them had 2 children, I believe, or something like that.
I
No,
think-
that's Cora.
Cora, yeah.
Cora,
the wife
there
of
we go.
Hamsam,
Cora.
presumably.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we do have here.
So maybe
We do have
that's
several people here who look to be, all in some sort of a rural area, and this costume feels like that also. So they could all be, part of the same group. And if previous characters were hobbits, then it would make sense to connect this person also as a hobbit. Though of course we cannot be sure.
Yeah, I think there's all of the people that are not elves, Numenoreans, the stuff then kind of blend together. The only one that really stands out is the Steel Rohan one. All the other ones are kind of like dirty outdoors kind of look. There's something to suggest scale, then we know they're possibly hobbits. It's kind of difficult to tell with some of these.
Have we seen the Sauron one yet?
Yeah,
That one's pretty cool. Have you already done that one?
yeah, the Sauron. Let's call it
Yeah.
Sauron-ish because who knows?
Sauron, no.
Sauron Jr.
Yeah.
Right, quick.
Sauron 1877 Sauron for kids.
Okay.
Oh my god.
So sorry, I just have to ask. Did you already cover the one with the horse? You mentioned it.
Yes.
Yes, we just
Yeah.
talked about it.
So is the theory that what is the theory behind that one?
Proto-Numenor, Proto-Rohirrim. I mean, it's not really a theory. It's kind of self-evident, really.
No, true, but I mean Rohan, it's like minus several millennia at this point.
Yeah, sure. I
But
mean,
it could be
yeah,
like
but,
could be those
their
could be their
ancestors
ancestors,
still in the north,
from the north,
Yeah.
of course.
yeah,
so,
between
I mean-
ourselves, we've decided to call them Northmen because calling them Eotheod would just confuse everybody. So, yeah.
Absolutely agreed. Yeah. So okay, but for me, and I guess like you probably also mentioned it. So this means that we will also see some of the Edain who stayed in Middle Earth,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
you know
Yes.
ancestors of Rohirrim.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, I agree. That was by far the biggest surprise of this thing.
For me as well.
Was like, oh wow, we get a proto Rohirrim as well as the rest of the stuff. There's a lot of stuff in this, you know. It's a lot.
Yeah.
To pack
There's not
into a
faces.
season.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited to talk about the one that we're looking at now.
Dive in.
Which one is that?
The one with the ropes.
Yes. Just wanted to
Is-
make sure. Yeah, I'm looking
Is that
at
a
it as
beard
well.
that we see? Like above the neckline?
Let me have a look at it in really high
Or just a
resolution.
bit
I
of
don't
skin?
think so. Yeah, that looks like the neck.
It
I
just
don't
looks
think it's a
like-
bird.
Oh,
No.
just skin. Okay.
Yeah.
So this looks to me to be somebody very young. My thought here was maybe Hadrith? Arik, you know, the character that goes to Numenor with Galadriel?
I see the ropes and I think, okay, that just makes me think of a boat sailing. And
exactly.
what's running through my head is my version of Through the Looking Glass, Brandy, You're a Fine Girl, only about Aldarion and Arendis, which I will not share with you now.
We'll save that for
But
next
yeah,
time.
I see that. Okay, of course. And it just makes me think nautical.
Hmm.
Because we don't have, I don't think people are too much into mountaineering and rock climbing and this kind of setting.
Well, we did see a pickaxe before, so, you know, maybe.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the color, just the green color, wouldn't be a color that I would associate with Numenor. But of course, you know, people are bound to be wearing all sorts of colors in all sorts of places.
Chat says
Hey, one of the
Kirdan.
guild
That's a ring.
adventurers
It's
in
really
Numenor.
corroded.
Hmm. The ring is interesting.
I don't know. I buy it. I buy it as a sailor.
I think this might be
I would.
Isildur.
Isildur.
Oh,
I don't know.
So
I think one of his buddies
bit
is
too
more
rustic.
likely, but okay.
Yeah, probably. Or
So I want to point out just one thing. Oh, sorry, Lucky, did I interrupt?
No, go ahead.
So I enlarged this a lot because I'm thinking it's my lot. And the focus of the whole shot is actually, when you look really closely, the only really focused thing is on the ring.
Hmm.
Yeah, the
And
focal point.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the rest of the photo, when you really zoom in, it's really kind of blurred. The focus is absolutely on the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's just, I think, in the nature of the way the shot is composed, because all these shots focus on hands, really.
Yeah, I think so too.
And
Yeah,
all the
and I
hands
don't-
are really in focus.
And that's
I
one
mean,
ugly
true,
ass
but-
looking ring, so I'm not sure that there's too much significance to it.
It's an interesting
Yeah,
ring, for
people
sure.
even
Also agreed.
have rings all the time. Yeah.
That doesn't look like something that was crafted by the second greatest craftsman in the history of Middle-earth, Celebrimbor, does it? If Celebrimbor ever made that, he would
Be
not
fired.
brag about that.
You're fired.
Yeah.
Well, true, but as Gandalf says, in this world there are many magic rings. So, I mean, we
Yeah.
could potentially see some potentially other rings that are not the actual rings of power.
I mean,
Definitely
if
gonna
I
see
was
at least one.
Celebrimbor and I was working on a practice ring, the practice that you have to practice is the magical aspect of the ring, not making it look halfway decent. I mean, that just looks a little bit like molten slag, someone wrapped around their finger, you know?
Or to give credit to your nautical theme, someone's ring that has been corroded away by years of being on a boat.
Yeah, but aren't the rings of power not supposed to be corrodable?
Yeah, I mean, come on, it's not a ring of power.
Okay, I'm just, yeah.
Can it
Yeah,
be
fair
one
enough.
of
Could
the
be, of
rings
course,
level?
just a ring.
Yeah, it's easy to read too much into rings because these people are gonna have ornamental rings. I mean,
Also, it could.
Like-
Does this raise the question that when we're going into the show, some of the rings are already forged? Does that kind of
It's an
like?
interesting point.
It might be a
yeah,
bit
but
of a
I don't
problem.
think it's a ring of power. No.
But I'm sure Have you seen any Rings of Power so far? Rings of Power so far in
Hard to
any
say.
of the
One that
shows?
I thought looked like a Ring of Power, but not
So,
really.
yeah,
No.
that starts to what we're doing with the timeline as well. So yeah.
Actually, maybe that's a really good
I
point
think
about
if
about
there
the
is
one
something
we're
here-
attributing to Sauron, and maybe that's not. There's no
Yeah.
ring.
Yes. I also think that the if there is any implication from these pictures alone to the timetable, is that it's probably these pictures are probably in a way working against the idea of having a 2-episode vignette at the beginning, because there's just so many factions here, mostly due to the addition of the kind of proto Rohirrim, that I can't see them ever hoping to do justice to all of these factions in 6 episodes. They're gonna want to use all 8, rather than having a separate vignette with the first 2. So yeah.
Okay. This is quite a nice one.
This one
Yep.
is gorgeous. So my thought here is either like some sort of noble. My first thought was Tarmiriel, of course, or her mother, potentially.
I agree.
I don't
the
think
one-
I don't think. Sorry, just a short one. I don't think they'd picture a queen with a flower necessarily. I think that's maybe. I don't know. I think.
But
Oh,
I
you
was-
know
I
what
was-
could it be? It
I'm-
could be the flower of the white tree.
Yeah, that's what I was
Wow.
going to say. It could be
Nice.
a flower of
Okay.
Nimloth.
Nice.
Very
insight.
good!
Yeah.
Very,
Nice
very good.
analysis.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Very
I award you 10 internets. 10 internet points.
You know,
10
I
points
have
for
another
Gryffindor.
idea. I have another possible idea. This woman's sporting what seems to be kind of a scale mail. It could be just decorative. If it is mail, the scale mail is something that we associate mostly with the Rohirrim, and we certainly did in the previous picture. In which case, this could be, and this would be really like kind of like, but this could be Symbol Muna, couldn't it?
Mhm.
As much as a
Symbol
flower from
Muna
the.
was
Oh.
much like very, very different in the films. I think.
Was it? It was just a bit of white cloth, but okay.
It was just tiny, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
Smaller?
smaller than that. The other thing I was thinking of as well is in the lore. We know quite a lot about the flora of Numenor from Tolkien's notes on
Right,
it,
we do.
and he tells us a lot about the fragrant trees they're called, which were trees that were in the region around Elderlonde in the west of the island. So potentially it could be related to that in terms of the lore.
Yeah. I
As for the
most-
outfit, I don't think it's combat mail because it doesn't look.
Yeah, I would I would
Practically
agree.
that
It looks
way.
a bit
My-
ceremonial, perhaps.
They look like
My
large,
mother has
very
outfits like that.
large, fancy sequins, if you ask me.
I agree. Thinking of it, it's important to spitball, but at the same time, thinking of it again, it's very well could be. Yeah, I think it's ceremonial, kind of very
Actually,
pretty
yeah.
thing.
The chat
Half of it is definitely a gown.
the chat is
And I
suggesting
think
maybe
her
a wedding
hand-
gown, which could
Yeah.
very well be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think like her hands
This
look
ring,
Mariel.
bare.
Yeah.
Her arms look bare. So that's not something I would associate with any proto Rohirrim people at this point. They would be further up north.
Hmm.
And
This
also
has-
the flower looks much more tropical to me.
I think
Yeah,
this
I
has
agree.
to be Muriel. I think yeah, or not has to be, but I think.
I think that's the best guess.
I
Yeah.
could see maybe the queen, the regent queen, whatever of Numenor, looking like that. As I said before, with the poster that Varking was given, I think it might that if that is a Numenorean soldier, there was lots of hints of gold. There's quite a regal color, and again here you have this regal gold color as well. So maybe that's what we're getting from the Numenor side. But
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't be and I think we've talked about this before. But yeah, I think that could be Cynthia's hands as well.
I think
So, yeah.
actually looking at the hands, they don't look like a very, very young person's hands to me.
Yeah.
They've
I
got
think it's
quite a
like
lot of
mom.
lines. I think
Oh.
I think it could be her mother potentially.
Well, yeah, maybe that's true. Yeah, could be the mother as well.
Sure.
I did look.
Mm.
We see bits. There is a ring there.
Oh wait,
The one
we're
thing
gonna
we-
have mothers in this adaptation? I'm sorry if I've read my Tolkien and there aren't any mothers in that work. So come on, guys, stick true to Tolkien. Sarcasm tag for everyone that can't pick up on that.
Yeah.
I do look. There is a ring here. It's facing away from us, but the one thing we haven't seen, and isn't it either, we haven't seen the ring of Bara here yet on any of these hands.
Oh,
Talking
that's
about
true.
rings without rings of power. This isn't. It isn't it, unless they've completely redesigned it, which I don't think they would. But still, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. How many have left?
This is the nicest clutch I've ever seen.
I found the design on the cover of this that sort of seemed a little bit half wave design, seemed suggestive of Numenor.
Yeah.
And ahead of something.
I think
Yeah.
actually, I think this is my first guess. This is the sister of Isildur.
Red minds think alike.
From the description of her character, I think that's something that she's very ambitious, very studious, perhaps as well. Which I think
Yeah, right,
that's the,
right.
that's the vibe I get from this.
Very good.
A physically strong, pragmatic, clever young woman. She's studious and ambitious. That's just something that immediately popped into my
Yes.
head.
Yeah, I hear that, all that description, without any context, I would think Galadriel.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I don't see that. I could buy those hands as Morvid Clark's. I don't see Galadriel in this kind of reddish thing.
I'm just saying, I think I'm sorry to single half you out, but remember those things we saw? Those three nice looking elves. I know I'm scared half it. But okay, the context here is that we may have potentially already seen some elves in this type of costume. And of course,
I think we saw
We're not
less
sure if they're-
reddish, though.
Yeah.
we're not sure if they're elves,
Less
but
reddish.
I think just on stream right now, putting 2 and 2 together, I think it is linked to potentially something that we have already seen. But that's not public, but before. So yeah, if that is an elf, I think that could easily be Morphed Clock. Maybe after in Numenor, when maybe once everything's calmed down with Farazon and Muriel, she maybe puts on. We know they have a dinner, so maybe he changes clothes for that or something. But
I think I have two comments on
buy-
that. I think actually her skin is a little bit too dark for Morvid Clark's. And the other thing is the style of the dress really brings to mind some Greco-Roman dresses.
Sure.
With all the rope-like, motive beneath her breasts. So I think that could be something that the Numenorean aesthetic could be built upon.
Sure.
And the colors,
Agree.
I don't think the red color screams Galadriel.
No, me either. I wouldn't hate it, but it doesn't immediately scream Galadriel to
Yeah.
me either.
And
What about the
aesthetic
design?
of the
What about the design on the book there as well? The book
Yeah,
has
that
got
doesn't
some
look
kind
elven.
of wave,
Very
kind of some wave-like, kind of nautical kind
exactly.
of feeling to it.
Yeah, I would agree. And I zoomed in, and this is definitely a fish
Yeah, at the top. At the top
on
here.
her
It is, yeah.
towards her left. It's absolutely a fish.
ooh, interesting.
And it looks like some sort of a book, like some.
It almost
I
looks
agree.
like a. I don't want. We know Galadriel goes to Numenor, basically delivering a message, requesting an aid, or at least that's our assumption. Why we think she would be going there. And if you have some sort of letter, why not keep it in some kind of nice sealed container, especially if it's meant to be seen by the king or queen only. Again, that's kind of really speculative, but
It's a nice idea. I totally think this is Emma Horvath.
Hmm.
Like, this is one of those that I'm really convinced. And also, notice her frame. We see well above her elbows here, and almost, it seems, to the bottom. Like, that's not a very tall person. And Emma Horvath isn't very tall. Sorry.
Okay. Anything else?
Carl, can you pull that one that you just put on chat up if possible? I haven't just seen that one now.
Did we talk about
And
that
before
one?
you wrap up.
Yeah.
The golden one.
This is probably one of my favorite ones so far.
Yeah, this is pretty
That
stunning.
has to be Arizona.
We talked about
I
that, but
think.
then there's what looks like maybe a Feanorian star or something up here. So
Oh,
we're
I
not
haven't
sure.
seen that.
Yeah.
Possibly, yeah. I could see potentially for that as well.
This is one that really exemplifies why we shouldn't read too much into the rings these people have,
Sure,
because
yeah.
boy, does this person have a lot of rings.
Yeah.
He might even say he's a Lord of Rings.
Exactly.
Maybe I know this is really left field, but maybe this could be, a wood elf or something. I know it's really left field. Well, not wood elf, but it reminds me. I don't know what it reminds me off the top of my head now. I think I have to admit to come out full, but it reminds me of something that I saw in Peter Jackson's.
Oh wait, that ring! I knew I saw that. That reminds me of the ring that Thranduil wears.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll find
there
the
we go.
shot.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I was thinking. I was not wood elves. I was thinking it really reminds me of that, but
Thranduil wears gold sometimes. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Has anyone thrown out Anatar for this one? Because I think, okay, kind of angelic, charismatic-looking guy, claimed to be from the West and the Valar. You'd want to look the part. You know, you'd want to be big, ostentatious.
I agree with that.
But did anyone say Celebrimbor?
Someone did say
It's
Yes,
very-
we've heard.
Yeah.
We said that
very
before.
impractical for Celebrimbor to have this many rings.
Yeah.
Yes, that was said also.
I mean, if there's Celebrimbor at dinner and there's Celebrimbor when he's in the workshop, and I imagine he has two different outfits for each occasion.
Yeah, that would be true of a lot of the characters. Yeah.
I mean, this is a Fëanorian star, and we have a lot of different rings. And House of Fëanor is not very known for its modesty and subtlety. So, I mean, being clad in gold, I could see Celebrimbor like that.
Yeah.
But absolutely, I agree that Anatar is definitely a really good option as well.
Just seeing what
I
else
think we
we
have
have
one
left
more.
here. I think this is the last one.
This
There's
one?
a couple more. There's a couple
Oh.
more. So there's this
Two
one.
more.
This one to me, I think, immediately screamed Lenny Henry. You've got the map here. Traveling
Can
hobbits.
you zoom in on the
Harfoots.
hands?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
The
Okay,
hands
I
look
see
very
that.
young.
Yeah, maybe.
What is that
No,
writing?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was going to ask about this. Does anybody recognise the script that the writing is in? Because it's not.
Some kind of rules, but it's not
It's
any
not
kind of
Tangwar. It's not Kirth.
Yeah.
It's not any writing style that I'm familiar
It's
with.
some kind of Elvish. I can't read it.
No, it was.
I had to do it.
A second ago when I was speaking to Talking Guy, they were saying it was Arctic or something, potentially like that, but
Yeah, it looks very tribal.
Yes.
you know.
Yeah. Almost a little hieroglyphic.
Yeah.
Even.
Yeah.
Kind of pictorial.
But what could it be? It could be perhaps some southern alphabet.
Good point. Yeah.
Like we
course,
could
yeah,
see
this could be
Harad or
Harad.
something.
Harad,
So
yeah.
and if we point at hieroglyphs,
Or
then
rune.
Yeah.
yeah,
Maybe
like rune, Harad.
could be the language of the Woses, maybe.
Sure. Yeah.
The Druidine,
Yeah.
something like that.
Oh,
I think this is
Oh.
female, actually.
Sorry.
I think
What?
this is the figure looks female to me.
Okay. Yeah.
be.
I
Hard
don't
to
know.
say.
Hard to say.
Yeah.
No. I'm gonna agree with that.
Let's not all just be staring at her breasts now, please.
Okay. Let's move on.
We're all talking to you.
Us.
Is that everything?
I wouldn't. I think this is male for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Just reads more like that,
I'm-
but I
I'm
mean,
not
could
sure,
be.
yeah.
Of course, that's why they put the photos like this, so we can discuss for the end of time, until the end of time.
Okay.
We
This
have
is
a-
our last one.
So I think this is Pharazôn actually. The
Yeah.
blue and gold aesthetic.
Yeah.
The pompous rings.
Hmm.
Very Roman.
Yeah.
Is that what?
Although
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether the hands are male, because they seem quite small and delicate.
I think Pharazôn is a good guess. I mean, we know Pharazôn's not the king at this point in time. So this is definitely a noble, human noble. So, yeah, good guess.
Is this
okay.
not?
Yeah, that's.
Is this not the same sun-like motif that we've seen
Yes.
elsewhere?
It's very similar.
It is.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
me, this reminded me of Gil-galad, honestly.
Gil-galad.
We keep just a thought. We keep saying sun-like motif.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's not the sun. That's actually the Star of Arendelle,
Hmm.
which led the Numenoreans to the island in the first place.
Sure. Yeah.
Yes. Let me.
So that star might have some significance to their culture, or at least the ruling line.
I just want to go back on my theory that the hands are small and possibly female-like. No, I think there's a lot of hair on them,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
it's a guy.
Yeah, there is hair on them, definitely.
And we didn't have to look at their breasts to figure that one out. So
Indeed.
good win, everyone.
Chat says that is definitely Gil-galad.
Yeah, for me, this is absolutely Gil-galad.
Cool.
Top favorite.
You know who we didn't see, I don't think, is maybe Elendil or... There's a couple people, really.
I think this could be
I don't
Elendil.
Could be, yeah.
You'd expect one of them. If this was Elendil, you'd expect to see the Ring of Bara here, though.
Mm.
I'm not seeing it.
Would Amandil still be wearing the Ring of Power here at this point? Or
Could be. I don't know. It's just we haven't heard anything of Amandil, but he should be there.
he should be alive at this point in the timeline from what you guys have been reporting. So
Yes. The fabric is very rich. I love the
Can we-
gold in it.
Can we discern anything from the medals on his belt, like across
Reminds
his
me
chest?
of-
Are those runes?
No, I don't see
No,
runes. They
those
look like-
are basically, because as I said, I'm zooming in very closely. Basically, like little tiny crosses, like a plus sign, basically.
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
middle. But what
with
about
a kind
like,
of swirl around it.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I think they're surrounded by letters, though.
Not
just,
really.
or maybe just
No,
ornamental signs. Yeah.
No, yeah, it's not. There's nothing. in
No,
it.
no letters. So you're talking about the belt, right?
No, the plate above the belt, like the three of them
Ah,
down to
okay.
the chest.
More sun-looking symbols.
Yeah, this is the sun, but above that, yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, it's-
yeah, there are some.
Looks like writing.
Could be definitely some sort of runes or like some writing. Yeah, they are not really the same, you know. So they are different one from another. So it could be some sort of writing. Yes, correct.
Someone in the chat just said
In any-
Tar Palantir, perhaps?
I think the hands are too young for an aging king.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the main reason for me why I think it's Gil-galad. I mean, one of the main reasons.
Question: what is the correct pronunciation? Is that correct? Gil-galad?
Gil-galad.
I think.
yes, the okay, I can answer this. The poem that Sam sings in The Lord of the Rings about Gil-galad, the meter of that poem would suggest that it's Gil-galad, not Gil-galad.
That's
Because this syllables just me. However.
no. I always said it the way. Gil-galad. It's a good.
A lot of people do.
I have a feeling
I've learned something.
by that name. Hi, Gil.
Okay, anything else?
Is this it? Do we have any final thoughts?
Beautiful,
I think,
stunning, just stunning stuff.
It's all very good looking. Yeah.
I mean, if you don't mind just repeating what you said for the first 3 photos that I missed, I wouldn't mind that. Especially the broken sword.
We'll chat about that later.
The good people of Reddit have translated the runes on the, the image with the scroll or something?
I knew that was going to be the first thing.
The scroll. So somebody translated that? I think it.
You guys covered that before I joined, but I think that one is Elrond.
Yeah,
we think it's Elrond,
Yeah, agreed.
or maybe possibly Gil-galad. So apparently the scripture says King's Scroll, view from south, and it depicts a little. It looks like a doorway with some trees around it.
That sounds like Moria.
Except that looks west.
The image, the image doesn't look like Moria because.
Yeah, I see what you're looking at though.
You have it on the other chat, Kyle, if you maybe wanna, because it's zoomed in.
What am I looking for?
I can send.
I love this stuff.
Hold on.
Love this kind of stuff. I love when people are on top of their game enough to call that out and translate it as quickly as they do here. Really
that's honestly amazing. Well done with that.
Yes, one of those days you really love the community.
Okay.
Do you see the image?
Trying to get it.
I do. I sure do.
So yeah, it looks very much like a Tolkien drawing.
Yeah, that's about as far as I can get of it right now, but yeah, absolutely.
So I think we can assume it's an elf, given the scripture.
Yes.
Yeah, for me, this was also first thoughts were that this is Elrond. So
cool.
Okay, so I think we're wrapping this up pretty soon.
Yeah.
Anybody has any final thoughts?
That's it, and that's all.
I just saw that the dwarf actually now for the first time. Okay, this looks really cool.
The what?
I just saw the dwarf.
This
The
one.
dwarven photo.
There's a couple dwarves.
The one with the warhammer. Yeah, that one.
The one with the Triforce.
The Triforce.
This looks epic.
Yeah.
And just before we wrap up, can I just say thank you, Matt and Dan, for joining us here today. This was such a blast. Thank you for helping us decipher what we're seeing.
Hopefully, this is the first of many more to come. It seems like we're in full swing marketing season now, and we're looking forward to seeing some more stuff.
Yeah.
No problem. It's a pleasure.
Couple of things. One thing is I've looked at that hand of the one with the gold. That ring isn't the same as Frandu's, although it's the same kind of idea. But also, are those letters on the embroidery on the sleeve?
On this one, the one that we're seeing?
Yes.
Sorry, just 1 second here.
Like with pearl inlaid in them.
Oh yeah.
I'm not imagining that. That looks like an R.
Oh yeah, could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
T-R.
I mean, they're not English letters, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's one that
wouldn't be
looks like
Latin
English R.
Yep.
Yeah.
Something there.
I think
Yeah,
so.
could be nice.
I think
Nice
we're
to
gonna.
notice.
This is the kind of thing we're gonna keep seeing details on the more we stare at them, and I'm sure we'll all be staring at them for the next few days. So we'll be sure.
Yeah, I
that-
never noticed the Feanorian star.
I love it.
That's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks again, everyone, for coming, and thanks to everyone in the chat. This was a very nice, lively discussion, and let's do it again very soon. See everyone soon.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Cool. Well, thanks everyone. I have to go back to work because that's a thing we do here in Canada. No, thank you. This is